Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Asian Psycho, and we're gonna get started on the 34th chapter of the Exploring the Arsenal series, featuring me, Asian Psycho, aka ಠ Sniper 98, and we're gonna get started on the second pump-action shotgun review that we featured in the Exploring the Arsenal series, and that is going to be on the M590 Military shotgun family. Now, a little bit of background information on the M590 Military shotgun. First of all, in terms of cost and rank, it does cost 900 GP a day, and it is unlocked as Staff Sergeant 1, just like the AUG-A1 and the K3 before it. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the history of the M590 Military shotgun, because as some of you guys know, have already know. If you guys don't know, I am a 2K8 Combat Arms veteran, so I have been playing Combat Arms ever since then. So I kind of know how the transition and the evolution of Combat Arms has gone throughout the years. So I remember back in the day when the M590 Military shotgun was first introduced. At that time, Combat Arms actually deemed shotguns as secondaries, just as Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 did with shotguns. Both games at one point kind of considered shotguns as secondaries. So what people would do is use like the G36E and then put the M590 Military shotgun in as their secondary. So not only would they be boss at long range, but also they could be boss at short range, and they wouldn't have to sacrifice another primary slot for that. After like maybe a year or half a year after the M590 Military was first introduced, Nexon saw the kind of issues with the balance issues with that, so they changed the shotgun's class or the shotgun's type in your backpack slots as primary. So they are no longer secondary slots, but Nexon kind of harkened back to that kind of era when just recently, I think it was just recently, it was like 3 months ago or something, or 2 months ago, that Nexon through an event allowed you to through some events, they allowed you to win some one-day Spaz 12 or double barrel shotgun as secondary. So that kind of harkened back to the days where shotguns were treated as secondary. So there you go, a little bit of Combat Arms history for you guys. So more information about the M590 and the evolution of the M590 Military shotgun, because the M590 Military shotgun is one of the more patched and the more kind of balanced weapons, or Nexon has paid attention to it more than it has to other weapons. And at one point, the M590 Military shotgun, when it was first released for Combat Arms, was so powerful that you could easily deal a one-shot to the front of a medium vester easy at a pretty good distance away. That was how powerful it was. And I remember for like the first year after the M590 Military shotgun was released, people if anyone was using the M590, everyone was like, "Oh, M590 noob, shotgun noob," and either they get kicked or they'd be just like shouted down and be like, "Haha, he's a noob, haha, he's using his M590 shotgun, he can't aim, haha," anything and stuff like that. So since then, Nexon has nerfed the M590 Military shotgun, so it can't really deal that one-shot damage anymore, but I mean, it's still pretty dang powerful for what it is. I mean, I'm actually curious as to how much damage it deals compared to the Remington. Actually, I'm gonna find out. But in the meantime, I will also explain a few other things. The M590 Military shotgun used to have 7 rounds. Nowadays, before most of you guys who have been veterans since like 2K10 or 2K11, you guys have always seen the M590 Military shotgun that holds I think. Wait, what the hell's it? Where the hell's the Remington? I'm trying to find the Remington on the Arsenal page here, and I'm just like, where the fuck is it? But anyways, the M590 Military shotgun at one point used to have 7 rounds and what was it? 7 rounds and 21 rounds in reserve, just like the Remington 870 shotgun. But since then, Nexon has taken into account that they made the M590 Military shotgun a little bit too overpowered, so they actually nerfed it down a little bit. So now that I'm looking at the Remington 870's damage, the Remington 870 actually has a higher damage than the M590 Military shotgun, which is actually pretty weird, because I've always felt that the M590. Oh, by the way, the M590 Military shotgun does deal it does deal 70 damage, whereas Combat Arms apparently says that the R870 series deals 75, at least 75, so that's kind of weird. But anyways, I've always, in comparison to the R870, the Remington 870 shotgun, I was almost about to call it the machine gun. The M590 military shotgun is a more powerful shotgun up close, but the thing is that the Remington 870 is more powerful, like I mentioned in the R870 review, that it is more powerful at range. It has a greater damage drop off, or it has a more amiable damage drop off, and it has a lot greater range than the M590 militaries. And the reason for that this is why I think that this is my reason for that. The M590 military's pellet spread is more spread out throughout the hipfire spread. If you guys remember back to my Remington 870 review, you guys would remember that I had mentioned that the R870's pellet spreads tend to cluster towards the middle. That's why I believe that it's much better at middle range, or like the kind of middle range-ish for shotguns, for that matter. But the M590 military, while it's more powerful up close, like if you assuming you hit all your pellets, but it's got less range because of the fact that the pellets don't cluster it towards the middle as much as the R870 does. So between those two, you gotta kind of pick and choose what you prefer. Do you prefer having a longer range with the R870, or do you prefer having the sheer power of the M590 military shotgun that can absolutely tear people up at close range, but it's not so good at middle range? So you have to kind of decide between those two. Moving on to the portability is at a 65, so there you go. It's not quite as portable as, say, some machine guns, but I kind of wish that the Nexon gave the shotguns more portability, because shotguns are meant to be close range weapons. It just makes sense. But I mean, I guess for balancing issues, I guess they can do whatever you want. But the M590 military shotgun is still very portable. You shouldn't have any problem running around with it, especially if you got speed gears. So there you have it. Don't worry about the portability, in other words. Moving on to the rate of fire. The rate of fire on the M590 military shotgun is 17, so I believe that's exactly identical to the Remington 870. I think, in my experience anyway, they fire the same. So rate of fire, because it is a pump action shotgun, you're not going to be spraying and spamming it like some other fully automatic shotguns, you know. So there you go. And I've already covered the accuracy, quote unquote, on the M590 military shotgun by discussing how, like comparing it to the Remington 870 shotgun. Just to kind of recap it, I believe that the range and the accuracy on the M590 is lower than that of the Remington 870s. That because of the fact that the Remington 870's pellet spread is much tighter than the M590. So that's kind of a little bit about the accuracy, quote unquote, because Nexon doesn't really give an accuracy to shotguns as a numerical statistic. Moving on to the recoil. The recoil on the M590 military shotgun is a 60. So because it is a pump action shotgun, you don't really have to worry about the recoil too much. And pretty much the only kind of recoil aspect that applies to shotguns in general, because it's not exactly a fully automatic shotgun. Even then, for a fully automatic shotgun, it's not like you're gonna spam it as much. It's not like you can fire it as fast as you would with like an assault rifle or some machine gun anyway. So why bother? So the only recoil aspect that I will cover is its recoil kickback. And recoil kickback on the M590 military shotgun is pretty much not even noticeable. I mean, it's like the R870. So because of the fact that it is pump action, you have more than enough time to reset for the recoil spread and the kickback to settle back down to its original position for you to fire another shot accurately again. So there you have it. And overall recoil controllability, because it is a pump action shotgun, it is pretty easy. And because it's the M590 we're talking about, it's pretty much very easy controlling the recoil on the M590 military shotgun. And one thing about the spread is that the M590 military shotgun is similar to the R870 shotgun in that the recoil spread, like the hipfire spread, the green crosshairs that you see on your screen, do not change no matter what kind of movement you are performing. Whether you be crouching, walking, running around, just standing still, your spread will always stay the same until you actually fire a shot. And even then, even if you do fire a shot, the spread on your M590 military shotgun only increases by a little bit, and it just reverts back to normal almost immediately. So it's not like you need to worry about the recoil spread throwing you off or anything. So there you have it. Tap fire ability, I mean, why even bother? It's not like you're gonna tap fire a shotgun from long range anyway, so don't even bother. Sprint drawback. Sprint drawback is pretty quick in terms of like overall gun type, and looking at the general picture of gun types. But for a shotgun, it's actually quite average, if not moderate. So I mean, it is a shotgun, so it's understandable that it would have a pretty decent sprint drawback rate. So there you have it. Moving on to the draw speed. The draw speed is identical to the Remington 870, and it does take a few second or two to actually pump the Remington 870, or what the fuck, the M590 military shotgun to get it ready to fire, basically. So I suggest you guys kind of have it out before you know you're gonna run into some enemies. Maybe run around with it just to be sure, because I mean, running around with the M590 military shotgun isn't too bad if you think about it, because I mean it's a shotgun anyway. So yeah, there's that for the draw speed. Center speed, I mean, we don't really need to care about this either, because I just mentioned that the center speed is just fast enough for you to not worry about the recoil spread throwing you off. Moving on to the reload speed. The reload speed is kind of like the standard for shotgun reloads. It's kind of like the I don't know what the word for it is, but it's the thing that we always I compare all other shotgun reload speeds to, because the M590 military shotgun is by far the most popular pump action shotgun. There's no getting around that, and the reload speed is quite nice on the M590 military shotgun. Comparatively, the Remington 870s is like twice as slow as this thing. So if you're using the M590 military shotgun from coming over from the Remington 870, then you'll enjoy the reload speed a lot more, because it's actually quite a bit faster than the Remington 870's slow ass reload speed. Fire modes. It is only available in single fire or semi-automatic, however you want to say it, because I mean it is a pump action shotgun. So there you have it. Luck, it's not as lucky as most people think, because I mean it is a shotgun, and I believe it fires 7 or so pellets. I'm gonna have to check again, but anyways, the luck on it, because it is a shotgun. You may think of it as a very high luck chance as long as you aim towards like the general head area. But for me personally, anyway, I've tried that, but I've never really gotten much headshots. I think my luck just hates me. So what can I do? Moving on to the ammo capacity, like I mentioned before, it used to have a 7 shell out of 21 shells capacity, but now since the patch long ago on the M590 military shotgun, it only contains 8 shells per like barrel and 18 shells in reserve. So there you have it. It holds a little bit less ammo, but you can still rape shit with it. Moving on to the key physical characteristics of the M590 military shotgun. The M590 military shotgun, I mean, it looks like your standard shotgun. It has a very dark look to it, and it's got that characteristic pump underneath it. I mean, it looks like your average shotgun, the average pump action shotgun. Moving on to the what's next? Muzzle noise. The muzzle noise is kind of like a peculiar like a popping noise, like a very low popping noise, like boom boom. So there you have it. It's a little bit lighter than or it's a little bit higher frequency than the R870's muzzle noise, but then again, it's what you might expect for a shotgun. A little bit less, but it's not as loud as people think. Moving on to the attachment options. Attachment options, you can only attach magazine modifications to the M590 military shotgun. And what I like to do for the M590 family of shotguns is slap an extended mag 2 on it, and then you have a nice 10 shell capacity on your M590 military shotgun. And the reload speed you don't really need to worry about too much, because the reload. I should cover this as well. The reload kind of type on the M590 is a reload shell by shell reload system, just like the R870. So this means that after you fire a shot, or let's say you fired all 10 shots from your M590 military shotgun, when you reload, your character reloads each shell one by one. This means that this is especially good for running and gunning with these kinds of shotguns, because you can constantly reload anytime you're not firing at someone. So it's a very good. It caters very much so towards runners and run and gun tactics, basically. So that suits the M590 military's kind of style very well, because it is a very high damage shotgun at close range. Moving on to the fire and whether or not it's fire team worthy. I don't really recommend shotguns for fire teams, so I would have to say no. Even though the M590 military shotgun is very powerful, I mean, it's not like you can pick up ammo for it from the normal yellow boxes of ammo that the zombies drop. So why even bother? Maybe for the NPC, not the zombie NPCs, but like Desert Thunder, Desert Fox, and then Nemesis HQ, because the NPCs there are actually just normal humans, so I guess you could use it there, because the M590 military shotgun is very high damage shotgun. But for zombies, nah, I don't think so. Quarantine worthy. The thing about shotguns is that because each pellet pushes back zombies a certain amount, because shotguns release a lot of pellets at once, typically 7 or 8, I believe, this means that you can push back zombies further away than you would normally be able to with, like, say, a sniper rifle, like an assault rifle or a submachine gun or machine gun. But would you really want to use a shotgun in quarantine? I mean, if it's a fully automatic shotgun or like a very fast-firing shotgun, anyways, like the R870 MCS, then I guess it's understandable. But I don't see it possible with the M590 military. I'm sorry. So now for my frank personal opinions, the M590 military shotgun is quite possibly one of the most reliable shotguns in the game, along with the R870. It's just that the M590 military shotgun has had sort of a stigma to it ever since it was released for combat arms, and I mean, it's still very good. It's not as overpowered as it was before, but it's still a very, very good shotgun. It's extremely reliable at close range, obviously, because it is a higher damage shotgun at close range than the Remington 870 is. And most people are very, very familiar with the M590 military shotgun. That's just a fact of combat arms. The fact that most people do know what the M590 military is capable of. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. It's a very, very good shotgun. If you guys have not used it by now, I will be very surprised. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you guys in the next episode featuring the M590 Mariners, or the Mariners, however you want to call it. I'm just going to call it the Mariners because it just flows along the tongue a lot more nicely. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.